Yo, what's up guys? Again, it's your boy Alex from WooCommerce. Today we're here to learn how to add a wishlist button to your WooCommerce store and how to personalize it in a perfect way. If you're ready, let's get into it. First of all, we need to install the MC WooCommerce Wishlist plugin on the WordPress. So from the plugins, we go to the Add New section, and to do this, we search for MC WooCommerce Wishlist and click on Install Now on this plugin. Well, after the plugin is installed for you, you can click on the Activate option so that the plugin is activated for us. Okay, after activating the plugin, you will see the MC Wishlist option in the menu section. We enter the List section to make settings, and we select the wishlist and enter the MC settings. MC settings are generally divided into 4 sections: General, Wishlist Button, Wishlist Page, and Counter. Okay, in the general settings, you can choose whether this plugin is activated for all users or only for users who have logged in. By activating this option, you force the user to log in or register to use this plugin. In this section, you can specify the process of the first click on the Add to Wishlist button. That you can choose the pop-up is displayed for the user, or that no process occurs, or the user will be redirected to wishlist page. Also, from this section, you can specify the process of the second click. You can set the action to redirect the user to the wishlist page, or the product will be removed from the list, or an error will be displayed to the user in form of a notification. Also, by activating this option, the user can add out-of-stock products to the list. Now we enter the pop-up settings section. From this section, you can specify the position of the pop-up, which is divided into 5 sections: top left, top right, middle, down left, and down right. You can also adjust the size of the pop-up from this section, which can be placed on the small or large option. If it is set to large option, you can choose an image for it. By activating this option, the image of the product which is added to the wishlist will be displayed in the pop-up. You can also select a custom image for the pop-up from this section. And from this section, you can change the size of this image. With these 2 options, you can change the content displayed in the pop-up, which includes this title and this pop-up content. From this section, you can also set the buttons in the pop-up. For example, change the background color, and you can also change the hover background, text color, and text color when hovering. And finally, you can set the function of the button and its URL from this section. And if you want, you can add a button from this part, just like I added. From this section, you can also set pop-up related settings such as background color, and border radius. Well, we enter the settings sections of the wishlist button. In this section, you can change the position of the wishlist button. It can be on the options before and after the Add to Cart form, or it can be before and after the Add to Cart button. It can be on the image, which can be in the 4 corners of the image. You can also add this button using the shortcodes. And finally, the summary option, that you can use this button to add the wishlist after the summary. Of course, I have to mention that if you want to use shortcodes, you can do it with the help of Elementor. And the MC Wishlist plugin has provided us with free widgets for Elementor, which makes our work much easier. From this section, you can choose the type of the button, which can be icon only, text only, or icon and text together. Also, by activating this option, you allow the plugin to consider a style for your button based on your theme automatically. Well, if I activate this option and enter my product page, this button will have a pink background and its text color will be black according to my theme. As you can see, the speed of the plugin is very high and the settings are applied in your site with high speed. From this section, you can change the icon of the button, which includes the same icons that you can see. From this section, you can set the icon size, icon color, and icon hover color. As you can see, the image will be like this on 15 pixels and like this on 20 pixels. And that's it for the icon colors and hover colors. From this section, you can make settings related to the background color, background hover color, border and border hover color. You can see that this is the background color and this is the border color, and this is the background hover and border hover color. From this section, you can set the settings related to the size of the button, such as border width, button height, border radius, and margin. And this is the border radius, it is border width, height, width, and margin. And finally, by activating this option, a tooltip will be activated for your button, which you can place in 4 directions. You can also adjust the color, background color, and border radius from this section. Note that the tooltip will only be activated for you when you use icon only type. And this is from the different directions of the tooltip, which include top, bottom, left, and right. Okay, we enter the Add to Wishlist settings on the product list. By activating this option, the Add to Wishlist button will be displayed on your product list page. And from this part, you can choose its position. As you can see, there are 5 conditions: on image top left, on image top right, before Add to Cart button, after Add to Cart button, shortcodes. Using this option, the Add to Wishlist button is added to Gutenberg list, and you can set its position from this section. The rest of the settings are checked in the settings related to the single product page. From this section, you can change the text of the wishlist buttons. For example, if we change this, we will have a result such that the text of this button changes. Also, from this section, you can change the text related to notifications that are displayed for the user in different modes. Well, we enter the wishlist page settings. From this section, you can choose a specific page for the wishlist. From here, you can choose when the product should be removed from the wishlist page: after adding to the cart, after finalizing the purchase, or during the purchase. By activating this option, you allow the user to share their favorites on social media, which I will discuss later. And by activating this option, when the user is a guest on your website, a notification will be displayed on their wishlist page to log in to use the wishlist. From this section, you can set the text related to when the user entered the wishlist page and there is no product in their list. Also, from this section, you can choose the fields that should be displayed on the wishlist page. It includes fields such as product name, product rating, product image, and fields like that. In this section, you can put the wishlist page on 2 grid or list modes, which is the list mode and this is the grid mode. By activating this option, the wishlist page will have a default style which is based on your theme colors. This is the style based on my theme. Also, from this section, you can set the color of the text, color of the buttons, and the size of the buttons on the wishlist page, which actually includes Add to Cart, Add All to Cart, and Apply buttons. Activating this option, the settings you made in these sections are also applied to the Add to Cart button. And using this option, all of the settings will be applied to the quantity field. And by activating this option, the mentioned settings are also applied to the pagination. In this section, you can change the settings related to the wishlist items. From this section, you can also change the notification text that is displayed when the user is a guest on your website and wants to use the wishlist page. That is the same text that you see here. And from this section, you can customize the buttons. You can also choose which button to place in this section and which URL to redirect the user to. If you need another button, you can choose from this button section. And finally, from this section, you can change the background color of the notification. In the share settings section, you can choose the social media in which the user can share their products, which will be like the options for Facebook, Facebook Manager, Twitter, WhatsApp, and Telegram, email, and also copy the wishlist link, and finally receive the PDF. From this section, you can change the title of the shared wishlist. And you can also change the color of the icons and their hover color that you see in this image. From this section, you can change all the text related to the buttons, notifications, and tooltips that are available in the wishlist page. For example, you can change this text, or the text of the apply button, and all these things, even the tooltip that is displayed for the user in this mode. Well, now we enter the counter section. From this section, you can choose which part of your site the counter should be displayed to the user. You can change its position and you can also change its icon from this section, which includes 6 icons. And you can also add your own icon. By activating this option, you will add a text for your counter which will actually be displayed next to the icon. By activating this option, the number of products on the counter will be displayed on the counter button. Also, from this section, you can choose in which direction this number should be displayed from your counter, which, as you can see, can be on the right or left corner or before and after the counter text. By activating this option, which you can set to disable, you can choose how the mini wishlist will be displayed to the user. By the mini wishlist, I mean the drop-down menu that you see when you hover over the counter. You can change its position from this part, which has two modes, fixed and absolute. By activating this option, a link to the wishlist page will be added to the counter. You can display as many products as you want in the mini wishlist. You can also set the location and placement of the View My Wishlist button from this section, which can be placed after the products or before the products. From here, you can set the settings related to the color icon, change the icon size, number, background color, and text color. This section includes the style of mini wishlist, which you can change the background color, and border radius. Also, from this section, you can change the colors of the buttons. This section also includes the button size settings that you can change. And in this section, you can change all the text related to the mini wishlist, which includes 3 sections. And finally, don't forget to save these settings. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would be happy if you subscribe our channel to get the newest and fresh videos about WordPress and marketing. Have a good day. Goodbye.